A familiar sight in New York City, signs for psychic readings. These psychics are also the subject of the documentary Look Into My Eyes, and here's a peek.
I feel like I'm at a crossroads in my career. What will
Lana,
I
right?
regret
Lana.
on my deathbed? I just want to know if she can see if I am going to have hens.
If you're going to have what?
Hens, chickens.
What? Sure.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay, the documentary is the handwork of award-winning filmmaker Lana Wilson, who joins us this morning. So, Lana, great to see you.
Thank you for having me.
We are very interested in this topic. So, you had this idea for this documentary. It's called Look Into My Eyes back in 2016, right? So, what exactly sparked the idea that year?
Well, so I had the idea the morning after the 2016 election. I was filming on election night. I was surprised by what happened that election year. It was when Donald Trump became president. And I was feeling lost, a bit scared, heartbroken that morning. And I, having never been to a psychic before, having been a lifelong skeptic, I saw a sign in the distance that said $5 psychic readings. And without even thinking, I just walked in. And I had an experience with a psychic where this woman talked to me for 5 minutes. I don't remember what she said, but I do remember that I felt comforted. I felt comforted by her. And I kept thinking, you know, for me, this wasn't about believing or not believing in what the psychic told me. It was more about this connection I had where I felt like this stranger intimately saw me for a second.
Okay.
And I thought that is so rare and so meaningful when it happens.
And sort of scary to me.
Yeah.
So what's the connection with New York and psychics?
Well, you know, there's many different types of psychics in New York. There's storefront psychics, which you see everywhere. The psychics in my movie are very different. I would say they're operating more at the intersection with therapy. They're doing hour and a half long deep dives.
Yes.
Some of them have backgrounds in therapy. And I would say that the role these particular people are playing is not different than a faith leader. I think this has a lot in common with different religious belief systems, and that it's a way of understanding and finding meaning in a world that on the outside makes no sense.
Did you have trouble gaining access?
You know, it took time. I talked to over 150 different psychics before finding this group of 7 in the film. To find clients, I actually set up tables all over New York City, all 5 boroughs. We had signs translated into 10 different languages with signs that said free psychic readings. And people who came up to the tables, we would tell them, well, we're filming all of these psychic sessions for a documentary set in New York during the pandemic. Is that okay with you? So that's how we found people.
Wow.
I mean, and how are all the psychics that you profiled different? Because there are different types of psychics.
Yeah. You know, they all have different approaches. Some of them approach this work as mediumship. They want to connect to people who are gone. There's a pet psychic in the film, an animal intuitive.
Wow.
You know, but I would say that actually they have a lot in common. I realized that many of them had backgrounds as performers or in the arts. They're all creative people in a way. And we talk in the film about what is the difference between giving a psychic reading and just sharing your imagination, what you hear and, you know, see in your head. And another thing is that many of the psychics in my film had formative experiences with loss or some kind of trauma that actually is what brought them to seek out a psychic for comfort and understanding in the first place.
So do you get into, I guess, the idea that some of them are bogus, you know, and and do they feel as their profession that some of those bogus ones that you may see on a boardwalk or wherever it may be are hurting their industry because, like, they're not real?
Yeah. You know, that's a great question. I would say there certainly are psychics who are con artists, who are just trying to make as much money as possible from people. And none of the people in my film are like that. They're all totally sincere about what they're doing. And it was really important to me to leave space for the audience to have all different opinions about psychics and about the afterlife. You can believe in it, you can not believe in it, whatever. There's room for you when you watch this film. But I would say that one thing that all these people have in common is that they're sincere and genuine about what they do. Not that they don't have questions, not that they don't doubt what they do and think, is this real? Am I helping people? I actually gravitated towards people who were willing to express all those doubts openly.
Usually when people go to a psychic, like, they leave sort of maybe either feeling seen or knowing a little bit more. Based on this documentary, do you want the viewers to now see psychics for what they are? Or?
It's more that I want people to understand why it is that humans have for thousands of years in cultures all around the world sought out psychics.
Yes.
Because it's not about psychics accurately predicting the future. That's not the reason why.
Yeah.
The reason why, for me, is that we are living in an age of loneliness, and human connection is rarer and more precious than ever. And I think it's important to all of us to find witnesses who can deeply see us and help us better understand ourselves. So I think that's what it's about.
You know a thing or two about documentaries? You had Pretty Babe, Brooke Shields, and Miss Americana about Taylor Swift. Briefly, I know we got to go. Those are people, right?
Yeah.
So, real people. You're dealing with celebrity status. Now you're dealing with psychics. Why dive into the world of non-celebrity here?
Yeah, I've made films about so many wildly different people and things. And I have to say that something I learned from this project that made me think about the films I have made about celebrities differently is that, you know, what I'm doing as a documentary filmmaker is I'm entering a stranger's world. Yeah. And that stranger is trusting me to hold up a mirror to them and tell them a story about their life and what I see. And that's really not unlike the psychic-client relationship in a way. So I started to think while making this film, I don't think I have any intuitive abilities at all, but I thought I have more in common with psychics than I realized in that dynamic that exists, and that's a part of the film too.
What an amazing perspective. That is such a way to look at it. That's amazing.
Good stuff, Lana. Great to talk to you this morning, okay? And Look Into My Eyes is in theaters tomorrow, so make sure you go and check that out.